Hello, everyone. I hope that you are having an amazing day. And if you're not, hopefully this video makes it a little bit better or a little bit more enjoyable. But my name is Winster, back at it again with another video. Today we're going to be doing a market watch video. We're really going to be focusing on Yu-Gi-Oh's newest set, Phantom Nightmare, that is set to shake up the meta. It's going to be releasing February 9th at all stores. It's going to start being sold February 7th at all OTS stores. So I think it's fair enough to start really looking to the market. But before we get into today's video, guys, do yourselves a solid. Please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notifications. This is where we do market watch, deck profile videos, fun stuff with the homies at the locals, kind of comedy sketches. If you guys enjoy that content, you guys need to mash that subscribe button. And I appreciate everyone who does. Be sure to check out all the other social media platforms. I have a very active Discord where my community talks on a regular basis. We cover fighting games, Yu-Gi-Oh, you name it, it's there. Be part of the community, and you can talk with me directly. I have a very active Twitter, go check that out. Twitch, I'm trying to get back into streaming, but if you guys want to support me there, I would really appreciate it. Probably the most active social media other than my YouTube is TikTok. Be sure to check that out as well. Let's go ahead and jump into these prices, because some of these prices, guys, are absurd. The first card I wanted to talk to you guys about is Mutant Morphous. I think it's a very powerful card. But I do want to start off today's video with this. All these cards that we're going to be talking about, all of them are going to be overshadowed by the obvious two, Promethean Princess and Poplar, which we will be discussing today. Maybe towards the end of the video, we'll save the best for last, or at least the more talked about for last. But it is to be taken that all these cards are going to be overshadowed by those two, because those are the two cards that everyone wants in this set. But Mutant Morphous, in my personal opinion, is a very powerful spell card. Tribute one fusion or synchro monster as costs, then special summon a monster with the same level from the tribute monsters, but return it to the hand during the end phase. This card could be super strong. Some of the strategies that come to mind first are Runic Sprite, tribute the Hugins, special summon one of the Sprite monsters and start building from there. Your usual target is going to end up being blue. Another one is Branded. I'm sure you could tribute one of the fusion monsters and then special summon another one from the deck, or special summon another monster that you would need. I do think it's going to find its niche. It goes without saying that the set is too new for a niche to be found just yet, but I do think that this card is going for an absurdly low price. It may not even hit lower than this, but up to $5 and change, maybe closer to $6 after shipping. These are well worth the investment, and it's a beautiful secret too, in my personal opinion. I love the art. It referenced Metamorphosis was actually used back in the day, so I definitely recommend picking these up sooner rather than later. If you're planning to play any synchro fusion based deck, I definitely think it's such a shame that this card is going for such a low price, but it's worth it for you to invest now sooner rather than later. The next card that I wanted to talk about is the Black Goat Labs. In my personal opinion, guys, I think this card has a potential to be a staple moving forward. Powerful effect, being a normal trap card, declare one monster name. This turn, neither player could special summon with that original name except from the graveyard, which is super strong. And then the second effect, you could banish this card from your graveyard, then declare one monster card name, and that is cost. This turn, neither player could activate the effects of monsters on the field with that original name. You could only use one of this card effect per turn, and only once that turn. I think moving forward, this, like I said, has a huge potential to be a staple. I do think that it's a little bit overpriced. I definitely think once the set is fully released that this card is going to go around to the $7 to $5 range. It may still be a little bit expensive because of the pre-sale prices, but it is starting to settle. This card was going for $40 to $38. In theory, it's not a bad price because it's a secret rare with such a powerful effect. Yes, it is a trap card and it inherently makes it a slower card, but going first, I mean, this is actually pretty good in my personal opinion. Definitely worth waiting just a little bit more, but I definitely would understand if you are worried about this card going up in price once it goes up, because it can, because it has such a strong effect. I think waiting just to see once release is fully out. If not, and you are impatient, I think $10 maybe $13 after shipping and tax is definitely worth the card's price. Man, this set is so good when it comes to potentially staple cards moving forward. The next card, Iron Thunder. The art on this looks amazing as well. But the card is a counter trap card. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated on the field, pay half your life points, negate the activation. Paying the life points is cost. Then, and if you do destroy that card, then any other cards in the same column the destroyed card was in that are in the monster zones or spell in trap zones. I do think that this card has so much potential to replace Solemn Judgment, a revamped version. Yes, it has almost the same effect, right? Because you're negating a summon, a spell or trap activation. This just negates the monster effect activation and or spell or trap, which is pretty good in my honest opinion. On top of that, it does have a little bit more extra effect, something like infinite impermanence, right? It just doesn't negate the column, it just destroys whatever is in there. So if you have like a problematic floodgate, it will essentially take care of that, which is really good. But it doesn't only limit it to spell or traps, it's monsters that are in that monster zone as well, which is absolutely insane. I definitely think this has so much potential. I think paying $10 for it is a pretty good price. This card is only going down. It's unfortunate this card is a trap card, and that's why it's on the lower end in my personal opinion. I do think this card can maybe settle around like 5, but right now I do think that it may stay around this area, but I could see going to 5. If you are planning to play a playset or play a very trap oriented deck, Dinomorphia, Trap Tricks, the list goes on, I definitely recommend picking these up because these are pretty strong. Get an updated version of Solemn Judgment, in my personal opinion. I cannot unsee this, guys. The little 2 dots in this card's name and then the P looks like a little face sticking its tongue out. Up next, we got EMP Meow Mind. This card is absurdly underrated in my opinion. I do think this has a lot of similarity to Parallel Exceed. Yes, you don't get the extra body like Parallel Exceed, but essentially the effect is if a link monster is on the field or in either graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. If a link 2 monster you control is sent to the graveyard or banished face up, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was sent or banished, or hand if not. Then target one of your opponent's cards, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. That's absurdly strong. If it going second or first, this card could be used. If it's you have the link monster on your field, if your opponent had sent something to the graveyard, it's just a good way to extend. I definitely think a lot of people are sleeping on this card. I do think this is definitely a going first card and something that you will be siding out, but it is going to be necessary to play a 3 of because you want to see this extender. I do think that it is at a pretty fair price. I could see this card maybe going for $5 to $6, just like all the other cards that we talked about today. I do think that maybe it's a little bit on the higher side. I do think that it's going to settle a little bit more. But guys, this card is insane. It's a dark level 2 monster. It could just be played into everything else. Gives you a great body to extend and removal. What is there not to love about this card? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. First, let's talk about Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. This card is insane, especially in the Fire King deck. Does have a little bit restrictions because it locks you into fire when you have it face up on the field. But the card is 2 effect monsters, right? So IP, and you're going to go ahead and use any monster. Snake Eyes Ash, Ponix. You cannot special summon monsters except fire monsters. You can only use each effect of the following effects of this card once per turn. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 fire monster from your graveyard. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can target 1 fire monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls. I do think that this effect is insanely strong. I got mine for a pretty good price. I got mine for $40. Shout out to the homie who hooked me up. But this card, I do think that it's going to settle. It's only on its way. And unfortunately, this card is looking like you may have to play a 2 of. I don't recommend pulling this card just yet or buying the card unless you're getting an insanely good price. I do think that this card is going to settle around to the $40 range, maybe 35. Because it's only going to be really used in that deck. Obviously, there's other fire decks that you could use it in, but there's not a lot that you could really use it in other than just Fire Kings. So because of that, being an integral part, I think that's why it's staying around that price. But my opinion, guys, wait on it, let it settle a little bit more. Pre-sale is still up. The set isn't officially released until Friday, so just give it some time, and I think it's going to be well worth the investment. Just waiting. It's okay to be patient, guys. We have to do it, guys. We have to do it. We're going to be talking about Snake Eyes Poplar. This card is insanely expensive and already going up. Like, come on, man. Or at least going back to what it was on pre-sale. The card is going for about $70 to $80, and definitely understand why. This card is insane, right? If this card is added from your deck, except by drawing it, special summon this card. How are you going to search this card? With Bonfire. That's already a $100 card. If this card is normal or special summon, you could add one Snake Eyes spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one fire monster in your graveyard, place the face up in the owner's spell or trap as a continuous spell. You could only use each effect of this card once per turn. Goes without saying, Fire Kings is rumored to be tier 0, the next tier limit deck of the metagame, and for good reason. It's absurdly strong, uses a very consistent package, and this is only amplifying even more with the release of Bonfire. Just making it that much more, even more consistent, is really showing where this deck is going. I think that this price is absurd. I think it's worth waiting, but there is still that chance that it may fall. The set doesn't drop it fully until the end of the week, which gives it enough time to drop. In my personal opinion, I could see the card settling mid to high 70s or maybe low 60s. I don't think it may be less than that. I'm hoping, because I still need to get one. I wouldn't be shocked if it falls to like 50, 40 once the set is fully released. Waiting on this, give it a little bit more time. I know it's easy to cave into these pre-sale prices. The only reason you should be buying this, if you have a big event coming and you want to play Fire Kings, definitely buy this card. If you don't have anything that big going on, give it some more time. Be patient. I guarantee you it will be worth it. Phantom Nightmare is proving to be one of the best sets to be released, in my personal opinion. Phenomenal staples, phenomenal potential staples, phenomenal ultras, great secrets, the list goes on. If you guys are planning to pick the set up, I definitely think it's going to be worth it. It's looking like to be a good price for the set, around the $80 as well. But I want to get your guys' opinion. What do you guys think of Phantom Nightmare? Do you think it's really going to shake up the meta like how everyone is intended? How everyone's thinking it to be? Let me know in the comment section, guys. I would love to get your feedback. Also, if you guys enjoy these Market Watch videos, please subscribe, guys. Support the channel. I really appreciate everything that you guys do. We're getting closer and closer to 1,500 subscribers, guys. It's all thanks to you. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, have a good rest of your day. My name is Winster. You guys have a good one. Peace out, guys.